Morning. Good morning. This week, you got 2 bulletins for the price of 1. Don't say I never give you any. Usually, pastors don't preach from the Psalms. That's been my experience. And honestly, usually I don't either. We read one pretty much every Sunday in this church, and I don't know if you sort of don't notice them as they go by, or if they're really central to the way you experience worship. But I find poetry just doesn't work well as sermon, because poetry just is for me, and analyzing it usually kills it more than it helps it. But that's just me. So I thought, well, I should at least, once in a while. So here we go. Psalm 27. I always find very interesting because it jumps around so much in its emotions. It's like 1 minute it's really happy, the next minute down in the dumps, and then it's over here and it's doing that, which admittedly is often the way I am too. That it's not like I feel the same all day long. Parts of the day, things are going well, and then everything crashes to the ground, and it's like, help me, help me, help me, and all of these different things are happening. And so, the Psalms are the Psalm 27 is a great psalm, especially for those of us who tend to be impulsive or emotional in our responses to the world. So what I did is I broke Psalm 27 down into 4 basic emotions. You can argue with my classifications if you want to, but here they are. And we're going to start with fear and despair. So that's that one over there. And in a lot of ways, it feels like at this point in our nation's history, fear and despair is where so many people start. Because, well, we watch the news, and then, oh my goodness, like seriously. And then the next day is something else, and the third day is something else, and you wonder, like, what can possibly be happening, and how much worse can it be? And then you read the international news, and it's flooding over there, and it's famining over there, and it's on fire over there. And so fear and despair come fairly easily, I think. And so the psalmist, right? The psalmist just sort of throws it out there. When evildoers assail me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my foes. We probably don't think about that a lot. I don't know, do you feel like your enemies are currently attacking you right now? But again, this easily becomes metaphor.
It's also West Virginia.
It's also West Virginia, admittedly. Right? An army encamps against me, though war rise up against me. Tends to be something we tend to do to others more than happens to us. But still, right? All of these things are part of this sense of fear and despair. And for the psalmist, what makes this a lot worse is when we get further along. Right? He says, "Do not hide your face from me, God. Do not turn your servant away in anger." So not only is all of this stuff happening in the life of the psalmist, but the psalmist feels abandoned by God. And so, this is supposed to be where you go for comfort or help or something, and the psalmist says, it just feels like it's not happening. Even God, right? And then a little later on, if my father and mother forsake me. So then we get abandoned by family. And in a lot of ways, if you're in despair, if you're in fear, and you feel abandoned by the people around you, the abandonment is worse than the fear and the despair. That however badly you feel about stuff, right, in the world or in the community around you, if nobody else cares, or if nobody else cares that you care, then then loneliness and all of these things are attached on. So that's fear and despair. I don't know if that's sort of where you are this morning or not, but that's one place to be. And so, one possible response to fear and despair is over here with crying out to God. And hopefully, at least, right, within the life of a Christian, our response to fear and despair is not hopelessness, right, but rather we have somewhere to go. That, even if, psalmist says, even if father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. So, right? So this is the recommended path in the song. That when you're in fear and despair, or however you're feeling, right, crying out to God. And there's a very clear sense in the psalm and in other parts of the Bible that crying out to God actually means crying out to God. Right? This is a very low emotional kind of church on the surface, for the most part. Right? Even praise we do pretty quiet. Right? In joy we do quiet, in mourning we do quiet. Right? It's just quiet in here. Not a lot of dancing and shouting and weeping and right, stuff happens. Right? But in the Psalms, crying out to God, you get a pretty clear sense that they actually mean, this is not a metaphor. This is like, make a lot of noise. Now, Jesus tells a parable at one point about how, the reason you don't get anything from God is you're just not making enough noise. You got to keep banging on that door. When you bang on that door loud enough, sometimes God will give you what you want just to shut you up. Right? That's not a parable we read very often because it's a bit weird. Right? But that's what Jesus says at one point. You just got to keep making some noise. Right? And somehow, right, God responds to noise. Which is, again, often not the way we think about God, but it's the way the Bible thinks about God. I didn't write it. But another thing that the psalmist says, sort of toward the bottom of the psalm, and the underlined part, is it says, teach me your way, O Lord. Right? So part of crying out to God, part of the idea of teach me, is that, well, maybe I'm going to actually have to change. Right? Teach me says, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe I have some responsibility in all of this. Or maybe there's better ways of responding. Or, I don't know what this is, which is why you say, teach me. Right? If I knew the answer, right? When I used to teach Bible in university, I had these students who were just really excited because they had all the answers already. They knew all this stuff. And I go, well, that must feel horrible because you're not learning anything. Right? If you know all the answers, what you doing here? And then I change all the questions for them, which really confused them. Right? But the reason I changed the questions for them is because otherwise I was going to waste their time. Right? They knew all those answers, so if I asked them new questions, right? And so that's what we do. That's part of crying out to God, is like, because sometimes we don't even know what we don't know. There's all these things that we sort of think we know, and we're in fear and despair, and God says, well, there's your problem. You don't even know what you don't know. So let me teach you some things. So that's all part of crying out to God. Another way, right, to approach all this is seeking God. Because crying out to God suggests to some degree of confidence that you know something about God, and that you already have this relationship with God, but maybe you're not even there yet. Maybe at this point in your life, you're going, God, I just, this sense of abandonment or despair or all of these things. So the first thing, in all capitals, on your sheet says, one thing I ask to the Lord, that will I seek after. So just stop. Just stop there and answer that question for yourself. If there's one thing you want from God, what would that be? Right now. What would be the one thing that you would seek after? Because this answer probably isn't yours. Right? To live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. Really? You want to move in here? I'm guessing none of you would really be excited if I offered you, you could live in the basement. And you go, I think I'll stick to my house or my apartment or, But, right, so what's your answer to this? Right? Because seeking God, right, again, you may not know what it is you're seeking except God in some sense of the term. But often we are seeking. Seeking is important. Seeking means, we don't even know. Seeking God also means, to say one thing. This is the one thing I want. This is the most important thing I want. Means that other things become less important. This is what I want. Right? So you have to, in order to fully seek God, you have to abandon seeking other things. Right? Because seeking God as your sort of fourth or fifth priority is really not an effective way to go about this, according to the psalmist. Right? This is the one thing that I want. I'm going to dedicate. Right? And so other things move down the priority list, and all of these other stuff that we want. Right? Maybe we need to take the time just to seek God. And if we're going to do that, if we're going to really seriously say, I'm going to seek God first, and other stuff second, that means we have to learn a word. And that word is no. Because there's always people out there who are going to ask you to do stuff. Right? Hey, would you like to come help me with this? Hey, why don't you come join this group? Oh, there's this going on and that going on. Sometimes we have to say yes because they're crying. Right? Sorry. Right? But for most of us, right, the things that demand our attention or ask for our attention, right, and sometimes they're just there. Right? Your laptop, it's just there. Your phone is just there. It's not asking for your attention, but there it is, and it's sort of mindless and it's easy. Right? And seeking God says, no, I'm going to seek God rather than play another game on my phone. No, it's an important word in all of this. And finally, joy and confidence. And hopefully that's where we're heading in all of this, to get out of fear and despair. However we do that, we eventually get to joy and confidence. And we'll probably pop back down to fear and despair at some point. Maybe we'll have to do this circle. Or maybe for the rest of our lives. But joy and triumph, right, and confidence and all of these things, that would be a good place to get. Right? As a response to all of this. The last thing in bold there, right at the bottom. I believe that I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. The Psalms are not pie in the sky. Right? The Psalms are very much pie here right now. Let's have our pie. We don't have to wait till we're dead. Psalms are very, very concrete about today. Right? Did anybody bring pie for picnic today? Wow, so much for that reference. Right, yeah, exactly. So we'll have to do metaphoric pie, I guess, today. That's okay. Right. Maybe it's worth just saying, though. How about we say this out loud together? That last sentence there, I believe. You ready? I believe that I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Might be worth starting every day with that, huh? Wake up in the morning and go, I believe that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And all of this for the psalmist is surrounded by faith. The first verse and the last verse, this very clear sense of the faith and the confidence that starts all this. The nice thing about having all four of these emotions, right, inside of a psalm is that it says to us that all four of these are perfectly acceptable things to feel. It's not like you have to live your life in joy and triumph, and if you're anywhere else, somehow you're doing something wrong. The psalmist says, no, sometimes you're just there. And that's where you are. And there's no sense in pretending you're over there if you're over there. That would be foolish. Sometimes there's just nothing else but seeking God. And to pretend this is joy and triumph, no, it's not. Let's be there. Right? And the Psalms are full of emotions that are, sometimes your mom maybe told you, I shouldn't feel that way. That's the way I feel. Right? Maybe there's an inner voice in your head that's still telling you, well, I shouldn't really be feeling this. That. Don't pay attention to that voice, because that's where you are. Right? And it'd be nice to be in joy and triumph maybe more often than we are. But we are where we are. So what we want to do now is we want to read this psalm together. But first, what I'm going to ask you to do in a minute is to stand and go to the corner where you are now.